Welcome back everyone for video number 2 today, and that is the player ratings from today's game against Southampton. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to support the videos with a like, and make sure you leave your comments below so we can continue the discussion on Spurs. So as we spoke about in the last video, if you've watched it, I don't know what order you're doing it in, 1-0 against Southampton in the Premier League away, and then decisions going against us, 2 offsides and a foul. Check out the other video for the full analysis on that game. This one is for the ratings of the players. So we'll start with the goalkeeper. Let's make it logical. Hugo Lloris in goal. He's come away with a 6 today. He didn't really have anything to do again. I feel like all I do is give Hugo Lloris 6s, unless he has a worldie of a game, which he didn't today, because apart from that superb strike from Ward-Prowse, where Hugo didn't see it until very, very late, there's nothing else that he had to do in the game. So a 6 for him. Sanchez, on the right of the back three, he comes away with an 8. Thought he did very well today. Solid performance again. Huge blocking added time as well, to save Dyer after that little misread situation very late on in the game. Not what we like to see, but I felt like Sanchez again, he defended well. I thought he was quite good on the ball further up the field as well, definitely contributing more than he normally would. And that's what this back three does. It allows us to be very fluid in transitions. It allows either the one on the left or the one on the right, depending on what side the play's on, to burst up the field. They're able to press higher and take more risks, because you know you've got Eric Dyer essentially playing like a sweeper slash quarterback role, to get in there and make any necessary blocks that he needs to, and the other one also tucks in, whether that be the left-sided or right-sided. So at times they're a back three, but when we're in attack, it's a back two. It transitions really well. Sanchez is now starting to thrive in it, like we've seen Davies doing. So a good performance from him today. Did everything defensively we needed to him. Well done. Dyer, on his 300th appearance for Spurs, unfortunately only comes away with a 6 today. Mainly, that's down to the slip up right at the end of the game, which could have cost us had it not been for one of his defensive partners in Sanchez. But I felt like he defended well throughout the game. The majority of what he needed to do, he cleared up. Heading again was fairly good today. His distribution from the back wasn't as good as it has been recently. I think that's probably down to just the amount of football he's been playing. He's been the mainstay in the defence. The others have had their little moments of rotation. Sanchez is obviously getting an extended run in the side because of the injury to Romero. We saw Davies came out for Tanganga, but Dyer is that man that he sees as the leader in the middle. We haven't got anyone else that can play that role, apart from possibly Rodon, but I don't think he's mature enough yet to take on that role and take command of a back three, especially with more experienced players anyway. So yeah, his distribution was a bit sloppy. I feel there was some tiredness. Maybe he could do with a game's rest. Maybe if we come up against somewhere weaker at home, then we can give Rodon a chance to play in the middle of the three. So yeah, 6 for him. Ben Davies are back in the side after having a rest in the last game where Tanganga played. So Davies comes away with a 7. He actually scored in this game from the free kick. That was ruled out offside. It was a good header as well, to be fair. He didn't attack too much again in this game. He was very attacking in this role in the first few games where he was playing it. The game against Liverpool, he didn't really attack at all. The game against West Ham, slightly less. And then this game here, didn't really attack much either. Left it to the guys that were in front of him. Maybe he should have attacked a little bit more, considering Southampton were down to 10 men. May have been able to help us out a bit. I know he got up there a little bit during the end of the game, but I think that was more the frustration of Doherty cutting back inside every single time, because, you know, he doesn't have a left foot. I mean, he doesn't really have a right foot. So, yeah, make of that what you will. Emerson Royale, he only gets a 6 today. I think he's been excellent recently. He was very good in the last game. But he was involved in lots of action again, and he defended pretty well. I just feel like he had no end product today. Whereas the end product in the last game, very good. It wasn't quite there today, and that let him down, and that's why he comes away with a 6. Højbjerg, now this saddens me to do it, but Højbjerg only comes away with a 5. That he covered a lot of ground like he always does, but by his standards and how good he should be, it just wasn't there today. He had tired moments. His passing again wasn't up to the standards it should be. And he was taken off in the last game, so I had a little bit of time to rest. But, you know, it's been a couple of days. We can't criticise these players too much that played in the previous game. They've had one day in between these games, which means they can't train because they have to use it as a rest day. And then still be up to speed. And there wasn't a lot of rotation for this game. So he's one of those that I feel could have benefited with maybe not starting. And I feel like Skip is a player with more energy and he probably could have started. The other thing that annoyed me about Højbjerg today, he had plenty of opportunities to shoot from decent positions and he decided not to. He just completely bailed out on it. I have no idea why. He can be a good striker of the ball. We've seen that quality a couple of times in the past, not just for us, but Southampton themselves. Maybe it was the pressure of going back to their stadium again. I don't know, but yeah, 5 for him. Harry Winks, and I gave him an 8. So he's on the same score as Sanchez, but Winks just edged it for me today as man of the match. So this is the second man of the match performance he's had from a starting position. Was nervy in nervy in possession early on, and it wasn't his fault. It was one of them. He had the ball in possession. He went one way, there was no one on. He went the other way, no one was on. He went back the other way, still no one on. He could have gone straight back to Lloris, but then decided to try and turn again, lost control of the ball. Southampton broke, and luckily he recovered himself and was the one to make the important interception so they couldn't get a shot away. So he recovered that, which is why I'm not going to criticise him too much. But, you know, his passing was pretty good today. He played a lovely ball to Sonny, where Son won the penalty that we scored from. Curled a great ball for Kane when Kane scored and finished nicely. Was offside. You know, he played another few good balls during the game. He played some nice one. The nice one over to Doherty late in the game that Forster saved. He also played the ball, and it wasn't a good ball. It was the one that we actually scored from that was disallowed. The one where Doherty and Forster collided. That wasn't a great ball. But he played a lot of those crosses. A few of them were looped a little bit too high, but he actually had a higher pass accuracy percentage than any player on the pitch. I think he was about 93%. He also had the most touches of anyone on the pitch. So it was another game where he was highly involved. And what we've seen from Winksy in the last couple of seasons is almost gone missing at times in games, in the sense that when he gets the ball, it was always sideways or backward passing. He wasn't taking the risky passes. Certainly wasn't playing decent crosses and through balls. He's starting to do that. So Conte's obviously got in his ear and said to him, look, you are a good player. You need to just, you know, have it and go with it. So he did that today. I was very impressed. He worked very hard and he was our best player on the pitch today. So well done, Winksy. That's 2 out of the 3 games he's been on for recently, 2 of them being starts. One he came on and did a little cameo from the bench. So that's a good sign. I'm happy. Obviously him, you know, coming through the ranks at Spurs, we want him to do well. We don't want to have to get rid of these academy players. It's not right. It doesn't feel right to me for Winksy not to be at Tottenham. So hopefully this is a turning point for him. Reguilon, he only comes away with a 5. It wasn't a great first half. He made a good run for one of the shots that Sonny took and should have either passed to him or Royale. But apart from that, wasn't great. He ended up coming off at half time. He picked up a late yellow card in the first half. He was a bit erratic. Wasn't at the races today, so yeah, he comes away with a 5. Sonny, again, it's another 5 for me. I just felt like he wasn't good enough. I mean, is it a performance that you would normally class as a 5? No, maybe not. You might have given him a 6 on another day, but I just think because it's him, that's why it's a 5. I think had it been someone else, unfairly, I would have given him a 6. But based on the standard of player he is and the importance that he has to us as a team, he just wasn't good enough for me at all. He won the penalty, yeah. Poor efforts on goal, poor awareness of players around him. Completely different to previous games. So, yeah, that's what he comes away with. Dele Alli, out on the right. Didn't work for me. Partly Ali's fault, partly Conte's. Conte should have known it wasn't going to work him out there. He just hasn't got the pace to go up against wing-backs, full-backs, even a left-back or right-back. He's not a quick player. And Dele's actually said in interviews in the past, if he could have one thing in his game to improve, it would have been his pace. You know, he's good on the ball. He's fairly strong. His passing's okay. His finishing's okay. His pace is the one thing that he wants, and then you're whacking him out on the right, expecting him to do a job, and it didn't work. And at times, it made him look like he was really slow and tired and sluggish. And I don't think it is. I think it's more when he's in the middle. He's very good at having that one touch to push the ball away and burst onto that. And then he's quite a tricky customer. But when you actually have the ball at feet and you have to drive past people, and then you've got space in front of you, that's not his game. And when these long balls are being playing, these balls are being played forward, he hasn't got the pace to run onto it. He's always going to be up against it. The defender always has an opportunity to get the right side of him. So, yeah, I didn't feel like his quality was good enough on the day anyway. So partly him, partly Conte to blame for that one. So, yeah, he comes away with a 5 as well. Harry Kane, better. He comes away with a 7. Obviously, a solid penalty, like he always does. His little run-up whipped it into the upper left-hand side of the goal. Forster went the wrong way. His passing, good, again. Playing some nice passes through to people. Linking up with Sonny on a different day. Sonny would have been better. So that kind of worked. I enjoyed the way he played, in the enthusiasm. He kind of dwindled out the game as time went on, and I feel that's because the service got worse and worse as the game went on. Because we were desperate for the goal, we were trying to, rush things and force it. There was a lot more crosses going into the box than we normally have. It'd be interesting to see just how many crosses we made from areas on the pitch in the second half. There wasn't a lot of brilliant balls played along the floor. So now let's move on to the substitutes. Doherty came on at half-time for Reguilon. And for me, it didn't work out on the left because he had to keep cutting back inside onto his favoured right foot. It meant any time we had a bit of momentum where maybe a Reguilon would have whipped the ball in first time, or Ben Davies would have whipped the ball in, Doherty then had to cut back onto his right foot, and that gave the Southampton players a chance to get in position to head the ball away or clear it or whatever. He did challenge Forster for the goal. Obviously disallowed for a foul, which it shouldn't have been. Too much protection for the goalkeeper, who is an absolute unit, so I don't understand that. He was denied by Forster with his great overlap from Sonny. The ball was played into him, just didn't have the quality to finish. Probably should have chipped it, but didn't, put it basically straight at him. He also had another chance from the ball from Winksy that went over the top that he blazed over. Should have gone with his left foot, decided to go with the right. So he comes out with a 5 because, there was good elements of his game in terms of his positioning and where he got to, but he slowed things down for us, and his end product just wasn't good enough. The amount of his crosses that he hit over to the back post, to Royale when he was on, and then Hill when he was on, they were just pushed too far, completely bypassed all our quality players in there. We saw Mora can head the ball, we know Kane can head the ball, so bypassed them pretty much every time. And then that is the other player, Lucas Mora, the final player to come off the bench. No, he's not, sorry. He was the second player to come off the bench. He comes away with a 5. He was on for half an hour, replaced Dele Alli. More natural position for him out on the right. Had a couple of efforts at Forster, nothing amazing. Couldn't reignite form in the way he did in the last game, but that's to be expected. A quick turnaround, not a lot of rest. And we were under the cosh really to try and push on for a result, which meant everything that they were doing on the ball was a bit rushed. And then, now the final man, Hill, came onto the pitch. He came on for Emerson Royale and went to right wing back. I thought that was a very bold move. I was impressed with that. Only for the final 10 minutes, however. Look, he's creative, he's small, he's slight, he dances in and out of people. He tried. Maybe if he'd have been given a bit more time, maybe 20 minutes, something more might have been able to happen. He did manage to get 2 crosses away almost immediately after coming on. Neither of them really went where we needed them to. One was a high effort, one was a low effort. But he was trying things. He was also denied very late on by Forster himself. So that is the player ratings from today. Let me know if you agree. Is there anybody else that you think deserved a rating of something different? Was Winks your man of the match? Let me know who your man of the match was below. For me, it was Winksy. And then in second place, I'd have given it to Sanchez. And then Kane, maybe had he not hit so many passes too far in the first half. He might have crept up to an 8 and been man of the match. Let me know below in the comments. Very interested to hear what you think. Thanks for sticking around today. Don't forget to like, subscribe and comment. And I will talk to you tomorrow. So until then, come on you Spurs.